Alright class, welcome to this video on lesson 3.3. So we're going to cover the homework problems from the Canvas assignment for 3.3. So let's go ahead and get started. This is all about rotations. So first problem, we want to identify the given transformation. So since we're talking about rotations here, the options here are based off of rotations of different angles. So we're going from 7, -2 over to the same point, 7, -2. Whenever you see xy being mapped to xy like this, and it's some kind of rotation, well, because it's the same point, that means it must have rotated a full circle in order to get to that same point. So if I have this point here, 1, 2, and I rotated it about the origin, and I rotated it 360 degrees, that's going to get me to the same exact spot at 1, 2. So this is a rotation of 360 degrees. Could be clockwise or counterclockwise. It doesn't really matter. In this case, I showed a counterclockwise motion, but it could just as well be a clockwise motion this way, and you'll still get to the same spot. Basically, on a clock, let's say you're at 12 o'clock. If the minute hand is at 12 o'clock and you do a full 360, well, then you're back at 12 o'clock. Okay, so that would be going to the same spot. And so this is going to be a rotation of 360 degrees. All right, identify the given transformation. So we have xy being mapped to x plus 5, y minus 3. So this plus 5 indicates that it's being shifted to the right. This minus 3 indicates that it's being shifted down. And so this transformation is a translation. Okay, you're moving it to the right and down. So it's a sliding motion. Copy the figure at point P and then draw the image of the figure for an angle of rotation of 60 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this quickly. I'm going to show you how to do this problem using the tools, but I'm going to show you online. Okay, so we'll show you how to rotate this physically, and in order to do this, you're going to need your tools here. You're going to need a compass, and then you're going to need a protractor or some kind of straight edge. You'll need a protractor for the angle as well as for a straight edge. So let's go ahead and show you how to rotate this. You're going to rotate this about 60 degrees. And it says 60 degrees here, which means that since this is a positive 60 degrees, this means counterclockwise. So you're going to be moving it in that direction. Okay, so we're taking this P. So first you're going to draw a straight line from A to P using your straight edge. Of course, it's not a very good line, but there's my approximately straight line with a straight edge. And then you're going to essentially you're going to measure out 60 degrees using your protractor. So you're going to line up your protractor. It lines up with the line that you drew. Okay, mine lines up there, just like that. And then you're going to mark your 60-degree angle. So we want to do 60 degrees. So from 0 to 60, this is 60 right here. So we're going to make a mark. Right around there. Okay, and that'll indicate our 60-degree mark. Okay, so our 60 degrees was roughly halfway there. It was like around here. Okay, so now we're going to use our compass, and we're going to essentially what we're going to do is we're going to draw an arc. And when you draw your arc, your point has to be at the point that you want to rotate, which is P. And then your pencil end goes on the triangle itself, the figure that you want to rotate. Oops. Okay, so right here, and put it on point A. And then let's go ahead and draw a arc. And you're going to draw an arc until you get to that mark that you drew. Okay, there you go. So there's the mark that I drew. It's around here. So I went a little bit past it, but that's okay. Do that, and then you're going to use your we'll go ahead and use a ruler here. or some kind of straight edge. You can use your compass in here, but this is going to help me do a straight line all the way up until that point. And I want to do the straight line all the way just when I reach the arc. That's when I want to do it. So I want to do it as a line as if I'm going to go to this mark here, but I'm going to stop short. And I'm going to stop until when I reach the arc. Right there. There you go. And so that point right there is my A prime. And so we're going to repeat this process for B prime, for B and C. Okay, so first we're going to use our straight edge from B to P. Okay, then we're going to draw an arc, and this protractor has to line up. The center of the protractor has to be at point P. And this has to line up with the line that you drew, just like this. And then you're going to mark your 60-degree angle. $60 is right here. It's right around there. Okay. Went ahead and marked it. Next, we want to draw, let's go ahead and draw our arc. Point P all the way to point B. So this is going to be kind of difficult to do because point B is pretty far away. And so I probably should make this a little smaller. Now that I think about it, I'm going to make this a little smaller. Okay, so I went ahead and made it a little smaller so that it looks better and we could do it according to scale. Because the picture was a little bit pretty large on the computer. So again, I went ahead and I just reduced the size, but everything else is about the same. Okay, so I made my 60-degree angle, and now I can actually extend this to B and have no problems with it, and I can actually draw an arc here. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and draw the arc. Okay, my mark that I'm looking at is this mark right here. This is the 60-degree mark on here. So I'm going to draw a straight line from P to there. All right, and then, but I'm going to stop at the arc that I drew, which means I got to go a little bit past it. In this example, I had to actually go past the arc, which is fine. Or I had to go past the mark that I made to the arc, right there. There you go. So this one's a little different. We actually didn't stop. We actually didn't stop short. We actually went straight to the arc, just because the arc actually went past the mark that we made. And so now this distance right here is the same as this distance, that's what it's supposed to look like. And so this right here is my B prime. And then we'll do one more. Go ahead and do D. So we're going to go from D to E. Okay, do the best way we can. Go ahead and draw that straight line. And then we have do the measurement from here. Mark out the 60 degrees. So the 60-degree mark is here. I'm going to do another color for that. right there. And so then we're going to draw with the compass. This is actually pretty close to that. All the way to that mark, and it looks like it's actually right at that mark, surprisingly. So so we basically know where it's at. So the new point for D is right there, so that's going to be my D prime. And so my new triangle, if I were to do it, it's going to be roughly like this. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to look something like that. So I rotate that 60 degrees, and I rotated it 60 degrees. About, yeah, 60 degrees counterclockwise. So let's go ahead and go back to the exercise. So that clearly looks like, you know, this one. It looks like either this one or this one. So which one would it be? Well, we want D prime to be down here, or we want D prime to be in the example. Let's go back to the example. We want D prime to be down, A prime to be up, and B prime to be that way. And so it looks like, according to this example, that's what we have here. That's not what we have here, so this is not it. So this is my rotation. All right, so let's go ahead and transform the figure according to the rule. So so this is a rotation, 180 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. Now the rule for that, the rule for this 180 degrees counterclockwise is that the X and the Y change sign. So once you know that rule, it's really not hard at all to be able to transform this. So if we know that A, let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, so this is, so the new coordinates for A, the coordinates for this is -2, 1. So then if I transform that, that's going to be 2, -1. All I got to do is change my coordinates. And then if I did this, the coordinates for that are -1, -3. So then I transform that, I change the signs, and that'll be 1, 3. And for C is -4, -6. So that transforms to 4, 6, and so on. And we'll do one more. So B here is -4, -2. So it's going to transform to 4, 2. And that's how you rotate 180 about the origin. Identify the given transformation. So here, notice that the X and the Y get switched. So this is X, this is Y, and then it switches to Y and then X, right? But then the Y, there's a negative in front of the Y right there. So the transformation that goes from XY to -YX is actually so once you see that rule, you look in your transformation rules handout, and then you find that, hey, this is a rotation, and this is actually a rotation that is 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. So if I took a point here, and I rotated it 90 degrees about the origin, like that, then I'll get the coordinate -2 and 1. All right, so this is a rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now here they're saying so this is counterclockwise. So if it's 90 degrees counterclockwise, that means is how much of an angle clockwise? Well, if it's 90 degrees this way, counter, well then that means it has to be 270 degrees clockwise, because the angles have to add up to 360. A full circle is 360 degrees. And so this has to be -270 clockwise, or yeah, so 270 clockwise about the origin. So this is our answer. Suppose triangle PQR is rotated 180 about the origin. Sketch the new triangle. So if it's rotated 180 about the origin, you can also picture it this way. We know that, well, there's a couple ways that you can think about it. So the coordinates for P are 2, 3. And we know that the rule for rotation of 180 about the origin is xy goes to negative x, negative y. And so all I got to do is this transforms to negative 2, negative 3. And then I can draw that. This. But I can also think about it as, well, this distance has to be the same as that distance. So this is rotating 180 this way. Same deal here. This distance has to be the same as the distance on the other side, and it's rotating that 180. So you can think of it a couple of ways. So, but with the coordinates, you can't really go wrong if you transform it using the coordinates, which is why I like using the coordinates so much. So Q is 5, 6, and that transforms to negative 5, negative 6. That'd be Q prime, P prime, and then R is negative 2, 7, so that's going to become positive 2, negative 7. Oopsie, I don't know why I said negative. I don't know why I said R was negative 2. R is positive 2, not negative 2. 2 and then positive 7. So that's going to turn into negative 2, negative 7. That's R prime. And so this is my new triangle. So if you can see, if you notice, it does look like it's rotated 180 on the other side. Right? So my triangle is going to look like... These looks very similar, but remember this is P prime on top. And we do want P prime to be on top. So this is the correct answer here. Okay, identify the given transformation. So this is X, this is Y. It looks like they switch spots, but the Y stays the same, but the X is negative. See, it went from negative 8 to positive 8. So the X changed sign. So that means this is a transformation XY to Y negative X. And so they switched, X changed sign. This is a rotation of 270 degrees counterclockwise or 90 degrees clockwise. This is a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise. Again, if you kind of picture it, negative 8 and 2 is right here, and then that transforms to negative 2, 8. Oh, this would be negative 2, or negative 8, negative 2. And then this transforms to negative 2, 8. And so this guy, if you can imagine that, he got rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Or he got rotated negative 270 degrees, or negative 90 degrees clockwise, or positive 270 degrees counterclockwise. So either way, you can kind of picture it. Give the coordinates of each image for the given transformation. So here we're rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise. So the rule for that, so let's go ahead and write the rule for that. The rule for that is XY maps to, and so you're going to switch X and Y. And then since it's 90 degrees counterclockwise, the rule for that is that the Y changes sign, not the X, the Y. So you started here and you rotated that 90, then yes, the Y would change sign. Let's see here. Okay, so the coordinates of, so basically we're going to use this rule. So we're going to switch the X and the Y for D. So it's going to be 5, 0, but then the first number changes to a negative. So it's going to be negative 5, 0. We're going to switch the coordinates for E to get E prime. And then the first coordinate changes to opposite sign. So negative 8, negative 2. We're going to switch the coordinates for F to get f prime, then the first sign has to change sign. So because there's a negative there, and 2 negatives is a positive, so that becomes positive 5, negative 3. Right? Those are my coordinates. Now we want to rotate this 270 degrees about the origin. And so the rule for that, remember, is if we want to rotate 270 degrees counterclockwise, the rule for that is that they switch spots, but x is going to change in sign. So we have the coordinates for this guy are negative 3, positive 2. So if I transform that, we're going to switch the spots here. And then the second number changes sign. So there's a double negative here, so this becomes a positive. So 2, 3. So x is 2, 3. Let's go ahead and plot that. That'd be x prime. And then z is currently negative 3, positive 5. So if I rotate it, it'd be 5, negative 3, switch them, and then change the sign of this one. So it'd be 5, 3. And then this y is currently negative 5, positive 3. So I switch them, and then change the sign of this guy. So it's going to be 3, 5. And that's my triangle. So this is rotated 270 degrees counterclockwise. So it's like this, 270 degrees about the origin. So y prime is on top, z prime is on the right. And so that's my answer right there. Identify the given transformation. So here, this went from xy to still xy, but the x changes sign, so there's a negative. So we just did that transformation. That's from xy to negative xy. This is a rotation. Well, actually, no, we didn't do this transformation. Let's see here. Let's double check. So that's xy. Yeah. Okay. So no. Yeah. We didn't. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the y is also negative. So y went from negative 3 to positive 3. So this is actually a negative y. So we haven't talked about this rotation in the previous problem. I thought we did this in the previous problem, but we didn't. So if the signs switch where they're both negative, then it went from positive to negative or vice versa, then this is a rotation of 180 degrees about the origin. Clockwise or counterclockwise, either way, it's rotation of 180. All right, guys, that is it for rotation. So it's basically knowing the special rules for rotation and knowing how to physically rotate a figure. That is going to be it for the video. I hope you learned something from this. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one.